In this scenario, to make the math a little bit easier, we're going to assume your home is paid for. Now, I know that's not always the case or realistic in every scenario, but it makes the math easier, and then you can check this with your own scenario to see what makes sense for you. So in this scenario, you have a home, it's a 3-bedroom, 2-bath home, around $350. And that's gonna be a little bit of a smaller home, maybe it's 1,600 square feet, and you wanna move to a 4-bedroom home, something a little bit bigger. Maybe your family's growing, maybe you need a little extra space, maybe an extra office, I don't know. But you're in a 350 home, you wanna go to a 450. Now, the thought is gonna be to go to 450 and rates being, at the time of this video, somewhere in the high sixes. For this example, we're gonna use 6.8. So what would your home rent for? Your home would probably rent for around $1,900. Could it be more, maybe less, probably more, but we're gonna say $1,900. If you purchase the home at a 6.8 rate, 450, now you're probably gonna put some money down, but again, to keep things simple, we're gonna say 450 at a 6.8 rate. What's the payment on that? It's about $2,900. Now, you've got taxes and insurance on both of those homes now, and you're going to carry all that over. So what does that look like? Well, if you start with the $2,900 that your new payment is, and then we add on the $340 of taxes and insurance, and then we also, remember, you still got the other home you're renting. Let's call that taxes and insurance $300. We put the $300 a month on that, but then we subtract the $1,900 that you're getting in rent. And when all of that shakes out, you're gonna be left with a number, something like $1,640, okay? And that's gonna be the leftover payment that you're gonna have to come up with to keep both of those houses, okay? So one scenario, you keep the home, you rent it for $1,900, then you purchase a home, that rate is at $2,900 for what you're paying for that. We've got taxes, insurance on both of those homes, and so we add that to it, and once you subtract out the rent, I know this is complicated, that leaves you with a payment of $1,640. So the other scenario is well, we sell the house and then we buy the other house, okay? So you sell the house for $350, you take out real estate fees and closing costs, and that leaves you with a mortgage payment or a mortgage amount you still need to get a loan for, $119,000, and that at a 6.8 rate is gonna give you a payment of about $776. Then if you add on the taxes and insurance for that, another $340, that puts you at $1,116, okay? So the difference between keeping the rental and buying a home, $1,640, or sell the home, the new payment, $1,116, okay? So, I don't know if that makes sense for you, but something that people don't always consider, the difference is $524 between keeping a rental and not. But the thing to consider is that you've got someone in that home that is paying down your principal. So your equity is getting bigger and bigger each year. And there's also a possibility, and we don't know what's going to happen, but there are some suggestions that homes are still increasing in price. And let's just say if your home were to appreciate at a 2% interest rate, okay, that would be an additional $7,000 in value that would be created in just 1 year. Now, if the difference is $524 a month, then we just have to multiply that by 12 to see where does that come out, right? And now you're getting to where it seems there's a pretty close, it starts to get pretty even. So I know this was a really complicated scenario, and I hope that I explained it accurately. You should definitely check my math, and you should also look at the math on your situation. But if you're thinking about doing anything like this, I'd love to chat with you. Just work it through on your scenario and see if it makes sense. We could probably come up with an estimated rent on your property and look at those different things. There's also repairs to worry about with tenants, so you want to be really careful about who you put in there. But again, if you have questions, I'd love to talk with you. Give me a call anytime.